Do I own any Bitcoin? Absolutely. Absolutely. Pretty pleased with my Bitcoin investments, actually. Bethlehem, how you doing? Good morning. Cheyenne, how are you doing? What's going on? What's going on? If y'all could like this video and share it. Brilliant, wonderful. Gotta let my Instagram peeps know too. Heimdall's Gate. What's going on, Joe? Have I caught anything Michael Tracy has been saying about the protests? Yeah, I've been catching it. Ask me that again when we get started in like 5 minutes. We can talk about it. I'm laughing because I've been so bad. It's been like his takes are what I would probably like say if I was a white guy who like was tired of the attention not being on me. It's like, so I just say whatever outlandish thing I can think of to get people's attention. Reminds me of my little brother when we were kids. Like, let me just say outlandish shit. Bro, I'm about tired of telemarketers calling my phone. I hope they're not bill collectors because you ain't getting it. I haven't seen CNN's new poll yet, by the way. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Save the question. We ain't started yet. We got like 2 more minutes. I want to make it fair for everybody because I want to explain how we're going to do this so we can try to have some type of order here. Rosanna's friend, what's going on? What's going on? Glory, that's true. No, why? Somebody asked about him? Oh, it's me. That's actually a really good question. That's a really good question. All right, we're at 7 minutes. Okay. All right. Let me get my glasses together and we'll go ahead and get started. You know I can't read. Oh. Woo! All right. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Dearest wife, waiting for my intro, who's looking at my show right now. Hello, Susie. Hello, can you start the show? What you like? My wife is looking at y'all's comments. when she's supposed to be starting my show right now. I just want everybody to know that. I'm in the market for a new producer. Okay? Literally looking at the comments. No, don't start the show yet. You have to wait now. Literally looking at y'all's comments as I'm like, let's get the show started. I can't even start the show because she worried about y'all. You can look at Jennifer's comments after the show gets started. Y'all, I can't work like this. Can't work like that. Now we can start the show. Now that my wife's paying attention to what we got going on. Now that she is back with us here in the studio instead of in the comment section. Glory, don't say hi to Susie. Y'all already distracting her. Jesus. What's going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream AMA Ask Me Anything segment of Mikasa Sukasa. Been in a good mood last couple days. I feel like I haven't done one of these in quite some time, since my birthday actually, which was in December. And so I was like, hey, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and a lot of it has to do with black people, and I just happen to be black too. And a lot of stuff going on with Biden and Trump and me. I'm sure a lot of people, there's a lot of new people on the channel. A lot of new people follow me on Twitter and Instagram recently, like a few hundreds. So I decided to go ahead and do an AMA. So how does it work? So the order is super chats first. So if you like have a really pertinent question that you want me to absolutely answer, then you got to do a super chat. Now after super chat, it's first come first serve. And I'm not gonna lie, probably gonna be a little bit biased towards the people I see on the channel all the time. Then it'll be the next order will be the questions I think are most interesting, and then we'll take it after that. But the first, to be fair, super chats come first, and then although I'm gonna try not to do that, it'll probably end up being the people I see on the channel most because they're out here being loyal and shit. And then the questions I find most interesting. So, with that being said, non-political related questions are okay. That's why it's called Ask Me Anything, as long as it isn't crazy, Glory. I'm worried. All right, so is Glory going to get the first question? Somebody ask a question more interesting than Glory's, because I don't know if I'm ready for Glory's question. We might need to. All right. What do I think of Jane Elliott? Isn't Jane Elliott that amazing like instructor and professor who covers racism in such a way that even black people have to be like, damn, I didn't even think about that shit like that. If that's who you're talking about, I love Jane Elliott. She's the one that does the eye color thing, right? Where she made the lady cry on camera, right? Because she didn't like the way she was being excluded because of the color of her eyes. And she's like, this is what black people go through every day? Yeah, she's awesome. Glory, thanks for the super chat. Niko, I admire your strength. But how do you deal with crushing burden of being a Knicks fan? Really? This is what we starting out with? I show you so much love on social media, Glory. Oh, bruh. We do nothing but show Glory love. She done got shirts from our crew. She done got pictures with us. Bro, we be getting in her VIP at events and shit. And this is the kind of nonsense. Listen, first of all, me and Knicks are on a hiatus, okay? Because James Dolan, I mean, he already done ruined my team. And then he comes out with that lukewarm ass statement about the killing of George Floyd. So we on a hiatus right now. I am a Rockets fan because Hustle Flexbrook is my guy. And y'all know this. I'm a big Russell Westbrook fan. I'm a big Giannis Antetokounmpo fan. Those are my two dudes for now, and that's what I'm going with. The Knicks can hold these walnuts at this point. I'm tired of James Dolan ruining my team. I am not going to keep putting money in his pocket for him to just screw us over and over again. And Glory, I'm about to put you in comment timeout for that nonsense. I'm tired of the verbal assault coming from you over the last couple of days. All right. With that being said, let me see who I got. What do you think about voting down ballot? I absolutely support it. That's the only way to vote if you are going to vote. I mean, obviously, when you're doing like your local elections, I would do a lot of research because there are a lot of good candidates running in your municipality 9 times out of 10. And your city council and your commissioner, like they are the ones who spend the money. They're the ones who decide how that money is allocated. A lot of the times, they're the ones who can hold people accountable if they try to take money. So definitely pay attention to your local elections. But definitely vote down ballot. If I was anybody, unless you're voting, I think there's I want to say the Socialist Party has a good candidate. That is guaranteed to run to the general. If Dario does not win the Green Party nomination, I will not be voting for anybody in the general personally. But like for the president side, that shit will be left blank like Joe Biden's brain. See what else I got here. I'm trying to run through these. Bethlehem, thank you very much for the super chat. What's the latest on the second stimulus package? Oh, I actually just read about that last night. So the second stimulus package is basically being held up in the Senate, and you're gonna love the reason why. It's because the Republicans have all of a sudden began to care about the national debt again. Yeah, I know. The audacity, I know. But that's what the status is right now. But the people who got the $1,200 checks, as long as your pay has not increased substantially since then, you're still supposed to qualify for it if, of course, the Senate does sign this, which I do believe they will. I believe the Republicans are putting on the front, just like the Democrats put on the front, remember? So, but I do believe they're putting on the front. I think you only have reduced paycheck if you make over 175,000. Don't quote me on that. It's between 150 and 175,000 while being married. So but you'll still get a check, but it'll be reduced. 'Cause I know some people were getting a lot of money for being married with 2 kids, but that's not going to be the case this time because they already extended the unemployment through July, the 600 month through July. And if this stimulus package goes through, as long as nothing gets changed, the unemployment will actually be extended through December 2020. So that would be massive. The extra $600, that would be massive as people are getting back on their feet, trying to pay on rent and mortgage and things like that. So you'll get your regular paycheck, but as long as you don't make if you got a better job, then hell, more power to you. But if you do not get that, then the goal is seemingly to make sure that you get the $600 a month, or excuse me, $600 a week, in addition to the stimulus check to help you catch up on bills through the rest of the year. So, Ernie S. Test Fam, absolutely, I take crypto donations, and my crypto wallet is, let me see if it's still in there. My Bitcoin wallet is in the description, and my Ethereum wallet is also in the description. And you can also send me crypto through the Cash app, which is also in the description. Jukari Davis, thank you very much for the super chat. Have you considered looking into Mark Charles' campaign for POTUS? He calls to completely abolish slavery, which the 13th Amendment still allows, and to have a Truth and Conciliation Commission. I have not looked into him, only because it is a little late for anyone else to be trying to come out of nowhere and take over. I would have really liked to hear him maybe 6 months ago, but I hope that he continues to run. I hope he doesn't stop with this election. I hope that he goes forward and kind of carries this momentum into 2024, because like I said, it's a little bit late to try and pretend like anybody else has a chance. Not that I don't appreciate, that platform. I love that platform. The 13th Amendment should be completely abolished and then revamped, like kind of like how we did with the alcoholism. Was it the abolitionists, right? With when we ended alcohol and then we brought it back with the separate amendment. Yeah. So it says I missed the super chat. Who did I miss? Oh, Parker. So I got appreciate it. How do you view Tulsi Gabbard's political future, considering she won't be in the House after 2020? I think that Tulsi will be okay. I think she's going to be running for office again. However, she's going to probably run for an executive position in a place where she has a little bit more authority in a place where she's probably guaranteed to win if she runs. Maybe in the place where the second ranked governor in the entire nation is in charge right now, in a place like Hawaii. If she ends up doing well in Hawaii and being the progressive populist champion that we all know her to be, I think she'll be able to carry that into another presidential run, in addition to her name recognition, in addition to probably doing some more organizing behind the scenes to prepare with, you know, because she has, it's running for president at all is very difficult. Running for president the first time is even more difficult. Running for president when the entire world is against you because of what you stand for and because of the good that you can stand to do is even more difficult. The second time, a little bit easier for her though. She handled it very, very well, all things considered. And like I said, because of the way she balanced her budget, because of the consistent and loyal donations and the people who are part of her effort, they were able to last longer than every other candidate except for Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. And effectively, she was able to last as long as Bernie Sanders because we found out later on that Bernie had already basically conceded and had started working on that commission with Joe Biden. Whatever anybody know what that what do they call it? Task force is actually doing? What is that task force actually doing right now? Anybody know? Just curious. I know it's y'all supposed to ask me anything, but I'm just asking y'all because I have zero idea. But I think she'll be all right. I think she's going to do great, and I think that her political career will go as far as she wants to take it. So yeah, appreciate that question. Thank you. Taj Marie, what's going on? Thank you very much for the super chat. What's going on with the Green Party? Do you still think that Dario Hunter has a chance against Howie Hawkins? He does have a chance against Howie Hawkins. If it was all fair, he would be winning. Dario would be winning right now, to be quite honest with you. But because of the corruption that has been coming down from the Howie Hawkins campaign, it seems like the Green Party is trying to lose. Because I don't know if y'all know this, we talked about it on the previous show, but Dario had when the initial Green Party polls came out before Howie ever announced, Dario was at 66%. In other words, he did not only have a majority of the Green Party, but he had a huge majority of the Green Party that was more than willing to vote for him and sending him with a crazy amount of momentum into the general election, get that 5% so they can qualify for federal funding. However, Howie, after that poll came out, that is when Andrea and the rest of her little clique went to go bring in Howie, which means they were trying to stop Dario from getting that momentum, which means they are corrupt and purposely trying to fail, essentially. So, same old story, party politics being party politics. I mean, it's sad because if there was ever a year for the Green Party to be successful, this would be the one, but here we are. So, moving for the People Party, if you're trying to find a party to work, who's working on ballot initiatives at the state level, who's working on building up local parties instead of tearing them down and tearing down the people in their respective states, MPP. Move for the People Party. If you don't want people like Andrea dancing all up in the front of your videos, man, go to MPP, cuz. But if you have not voted in your Green Party and you're still in the primary, vote for Dario. That's the one. That's the last reasonable candidate I see left in the Green Party so far. Jen, what's going on? Just wanted to tell you and Susie, I love you guys. By the way, what do you think about the people who claim? What do you think of people who claim that they're anti-police but don't support Palestinians? Oh, I get what you mean. Understood. Okay, so first of all, Jen, I'm gonna let that one slide because of how long we known each other. But you already said just wanted to send y'all love. That's already one question, bro. Come on, Jen. I'm gonna let that one slide though. We're gonna let you get that second one where you slick with it. All right. But you can't be. It's the same thing I feel about people like the black community. There's this problem with everybody acknowledging systemic and institutional racism, but then being anti-gay. Like, you can't be both. You can't be anti-discrimination except for in the one case where you are hyper compensating by trying to basically compete in the I can be more patriarchal than the white patriarchy Olympics. That's basically what black people do sometimes. Like, y'all ever been to an evangelical Baptist church that's white and they're like, yeah, they got their little things going on and they got the, you know, oh, I feel them, Jesus. But with black people, you ever go to a black Baptist church? Because it is not the same. Oh boy, that woo! Jesus! They even out sing the evangelicals in the white church. There's a thing that is in our community where, because in order for us to be accepted, we had to assimilate. But just black people just got this thing in us. We can't just assimilate. We got to be like the best. Like Serena was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a really, really good tennis player. I'm gonna be the best woman tennis player ever. But she's like, actually, I'm gonna build my body up like a fucking horse. And I'm gonna make it so that there's gonna be nobody even close to me. Which was a good idea. But the same thing that happened with the reason Tiger Woods' back is messed up is because he was trying to be a professional golfer and a Navy SEAL. Why? I don't know. But that's just what happens, you know? That's what happened. Jen, you have to give me $2. Appreciate it, Jen. Appreciate it. But in all seriousness, you can't be quote unquote anti-police state and then be anti-Palestine or pro-Israel. Israel gets a lot of their tactics from us and vice versa. Our police are oftentimes trained by the Israeli IDF because they're constantly engaging in very physical and just hyper tense situations all the time that they create, of course, for themselves. But then if you train other police to, like, you're training local PD like they're in a damn war zone, and they're not, even though they try to make it one. And so if you understand what the police state means and what people were saying when they say police state, you can't be pro-Israel, the pro-Israeli government, excuse me, and then be anti-police state. They're one and the same. Niko, have you considered doing podcasts? Cause I would love to hear your videos through podcasts like Joe. So here's the thing. I used to do podcasts, and I'm going to probably be bringing them back here pretty soon. But we do podcasts for our Rockfin exclusive members on our Rockfin premium members on Rockfin. With me and Robbie Yeager, we do a podcast called the MCSC Uncensored Podcast. And so if you want to hear that one, where we cover a wide range of topics, and that podcast can be anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours. We have a lot of fun, a lot more cussing. So if you are, it's an uncensored podcast. So if you've got kids that listen to me, which apparently is a thing. So by the way, I'm so sorry for all y'all kids that have picked up some cuss words from my show. My apologies. If it makes you feel any better, my nephew here is a lot worse, and not even from me, mostly from my brother. He plays PlayStation a lot, and he plays online. So if he's not hearing cussing from my brother, he's usually hearing the N-word from some white kid on Call of Duty. But in all seriousness, if you want to hear my podcast, go to rockfin.com, ROKFIN.com/Niko, Niko. And you can endorse myself or actually anybody on Rockfin. And if you endorse me or anybody else, which is $9.99 a month, you get actually all the premium content on Rockfin. So my premium content, the Combo Couch premium content, if you like Kim Iverson, Kim's premium, Robbie's premium content, you get everybody's if you endorse one person, and that includes the MCSC Uncensored podcast. Now, like I said, there's some things working in the background right now where I might be actually doing another podcast here pretty soon because it'll actually be worth it. The thing is, as you all know, because of the censorship that we've been experiencing on some platforms, it makes it difficult to do a podcast because we know that a lot of people won't hear it right now. So like we have to expend our energy as efficiently as possible at the moment. And so I love podcasts. People have given me a lot of positive feedback on the podcast stuff. So I definitely love the idea of it. And we love doing the MCSC Uncensored podcast. But we just have to be very careful about how we expend our energy because we don't have we gotta balance everything. with the incredible workload we already have. So yeah, hope that answered your question. Never Neocon 69. Why are they gonna put 69 as the number for the? Is this because this is when y'all was born? I know it's a quick one. Thoughts on possible disbanding of the Minneapolis Police Department? I'm gonna come back to that one because that's a lot. It's loaded as hell. But give me a second. Glory Jones, just want to say thank you, Susie, for everything you do helping produce a favorite independent media network. Glory, what the hell? What happened to thank you, Niko? I'm the one who taught her how to produce it. God, man, y'all, I'm tired of favoritism that's going on in this damn. Look, y'all. There's no love in this chat for Niko, man. My wife's head is already big enough as it is. Y'all didn't see that. That was assault. Actually, y'all did see that. I was assaulted by a Mexican. She's trying to ignite a race war. She's trying to ignite. Y'all saw her throw my bear. You know what's messed up about this? Her mama got me this bear, and she just threw it at me. That's messed up. Race war! Race war! It's on! It's on, everybody! Race war! Jamosino 79. When can you have Mike Gravel back on? It didn't happen last time, and this is the perfect time to organize with his solutions. That's actually a good idea. I'll reach out to Mike. I don't know if he's active right now, but if he is, I'll definitely try to get him back on. Colin Radix Carter. What do you think of Cristobal and Kyle now bending the knee and making a case for Biden? By the way, interview with Richie met her soon. So I'll have Richie back on soon. So the last time I had Richie on, I've had him on twice already, but it was both on Rockfin. So I don't think a lot of y'all didn't catch it. But I'll definitely get Richie back on here pretty soon, because I don't think I've ever did an interview with him on YouTube, and I love talking to Richie, dope guy. I think actually Richie, funny enough, kind of codified it perfectly. And y'all know I love Kyle. Kyle's my boys, but he knows I keep it a band. And Crystal at this point should know the same. The truth of the matter is, his point is absolutely correct. He's like, oh, now that Trump is sending people to march into the streets, the military, the National Guard, which, by the way, I think he only did that in DC, but like California's governor and a couple of other governors chose to do that, right? So there isn't just Trump. You got Democrat and Republicans both making that same decision, and once again conflating this idea that somehow, trying to dichotomize the idea of Trump versus Republicans, or Republicans versus Democrats, or Trump versus Democrats. Like, no, some Democrats also send their National Guard into their respective states to stop this protest. So there's that. But what Richie said about, so you're okay with people in other countries having their streets ran through by your military, but it's when it's finally in your home, you get nervous and you flinch, because that's effectively what's happening. There's no logical conclusion. There's no logical chain that you can follow that somehow demonstrates that you're going to get a different result in this country or another, or this country and another, by pushing or supporting Biden. I mean, I've been very clear about all of this as far as how I feel about Biden and his nonsensical pandering here when it comes to this issue revolving the protests and George Floyd. I feel like this: if you were telling me, which by the way, Kyle and Crystal both were not saying this, right? They weren't telling anybody to vote for Biden. Cool. However, with that being said, if you were one of the people telling me to vote for Biden prior to George Floyd's assassination, murder, whatever you want to call it, just don't call it a manslaughter or accidental death. Call it what it is. But if you were telling me you got to vote for Biden, and then you want to all of a sudden play Black Lives Matter because you want a couple of retweets and likes, I don't want to hear your mouth. Shut the hell up. This isn't your part of the show. You told me to vote for a segregationist. You told me to vote for the man whose policies normalized that type of police brutality and that behavior, and therefore led to not only George Floyd's death, but the death of countless other black men. By the way, we still don't even know what the actual numbers are. I know that people's like, oh man, look at these numbers. The numbers don't look good as it is, but There have been police departments, multiple police departments across the country have gotten caught falsifying their numbers, falsifying documents. So we don't even know what the actual numbers are. Because you have no idea. Like my police brutality, for example, is not on any file. It is not on any court document because attorneys here will not take it because they will not sue the Miami PD because they're terrified of them. Or they're working with them. So like, you have no idea how many times this happens and it's not even reported. So no, you cannot tell me to vote for Biden and then play Black Lives Matter. Like vote for Biden in the daytime and play Black Lives Matter at night. No, that's not how it works. Either Black Lives Matter or they don't. At least be honest with yourself. Instead of grifting the same grift that everybody's been grifting for the last, I don't know, since the civil rights era. But with that same energy, you can't say, oh man, these protests and the way that Trump handled it is going to make me vote for the guy whose policies and his segregationism and his war on drugs literally led to this moment. Let me vote for that guy instead. And there's no logic there. It's only emotion. And everybody is pretending. There are some people who are pretending like their reactionism is logic based. And they are working really, really hard to justify it with their logic. But there is no logic. It is only emotion. It's only emotion. And the grift. Because everybody's so binary. I got to pick a side, man. Oh, man, if I say I don't support Trump, people going, or if I say I don't support Biden, people going to think that means I support Trump and police brutality, and I don't. Well, then just make your arguments against police brutality. Make your arguments against racism. Make your arguments against inherent racial bias. Do something about it. Like, but it's like people who don't want to put themselves in a position to do something about these problems that they talk about and make money off of every day. They don't want other people to recognize that they're actually they're just not going to do something about it. But yet they're like saber rattling. I don't want to say saber rattling, but they're speaking from their pulpit and like, oh man, I feel so strong about this issue and so should you. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Just kidding. I'm going to vote for Biden because Trump scares me now. No. If either side bothers you that much because of the issue at hand, then do something about the issue. Don't tell me to go to one person who's handling the issue horribly or another person who is the cause of the issues. That's a dumb choice. It's not a choice. It's a false choice. And if you are white and you're telling other people to just play right back into the hands of duopoly because you will not be affected by these issues effectively, because like I said, Kyle's my dude. Y'all know that. Kyle's not going to be affected by these issues. Crystal damn sure is not going to be affected by these issues. Crystal could buy her way out of jail, my way out of jail, my dog's way out of the vet. Like, bruh, Crystal got money and she a white woman and she's famous. Crystal gonna be all right, no matter who she votes for. So don't tell people with my life at stake, with my future sons and my future daughter's life at stake, with my nephews and my niece's life at stake, that Biden is somehow better for them. When Biden was putting their great grandparents in jail. All right? Don't get me on no damn Biden rant. Y'all know better than that. All right, let me go ahead and get to Never Neil Khan's question about disbanding, the potential disbanding of the Minneapolis Police Department. So, in case those of you, or in case some of you did not hear yesterday, they are disbanding or planning on disbanding the Minneapolis Police Department and then transitioning into community-based policing. For those of you who do not know, this used to be the norm. I don't know if y'all know that. And I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe it was Teddy Roosevelt who began systemic ripping apart of the community policing. And some of you may be wondering, well, I don't remember anything about community policing. Yeah, you do. You remember that Second Amendment that all the conservatives like to talk about? We all have the right to bear arms. You know that second thing that they always forget to say? Within a well-regulated militia, that militia is referring to the community policing. So you know how the police have ranks like the military? That's because the police and the military used to be kind of one and the same. The police and the National Guard used to be one and the same. And that militia had to come from the community. And every at the time, I think it was at least every young man that was able served some time in the militia. And if you were in the militia, you had to be from that community, and you had to be trained with the weapon. Why? Because it wasn't just about helping to keep your community together and protecting that community, because that attachment to that community would make you more likely to put your life on the line for your neighbors, for your daughters, for your mother, for your father. So you would be more pressed to be more trained. It is now a choice to protect my community. You had pride in protecting your community. Then, of course, you're well trained, you know, with your weapon. You still have military training, military grade training, because if the nation had to call you up as an army, now I don't have to wonder whether or not I have soldiers, because the soldiers are also the ones in their communities making sure everything is all good, taking care of the community. That is where the idea of community policing comes from. It is possible. It has already been done. And the reason they were allowed to have weapons, but you didn't see a lot of police shooting civilians, a lot of militia shooting civilians, is because what if I accidentally kill my mom's best friend's son? Come on. Man, my mom gonna beat my butt. No, but on seriously, you have to live with the guilt of making rash decisions. And it's not the law that you gotta remember. The law is not what scares people oftentimes. Like, it wasn't the law that made me turn out the way I turned out. It was the fear of letting the people closest to me down a lot of the time. The want to help my mother and my family and be a good example for the people that I grew up with and grew up around and who look up to me. So it isn't the laws oftentimes that make you do it. They serve as a guide. But that's not what, that's not what makes people make the right decisions. The law is the law, but that's just not what's going to make people make the right decisions. Rich people violate the law all the time. But when you have a community that is all invested, so it's the same thing with worker-owned co-ops. Marcellus Wright from the Black Sheep Theory posted a video on the channel yesterday talking about that. Worker-owned co-ops. Why are worker-owned co-ops so successful? Because when the person to the left and the right of you, and your boss, and the janitor, and the young woman at customer service, and the cashier, and the stock, they're all dependent on you working as a cohesive unit to make this store, this business, as successful as humanly possible, because all of you succeed if it is successful, and all of you fail if it is not. It's the same thing, same concept. And you don't want to look at the people to the left and the right of you and say, damn, I didn't do my part. I didn't, pull my weight. So community policing, same concept. I know that people want to I agree with demilitarizing the police at this juncture. Thank you. Because, come on. Why are you walking around with the same weapons you walk around with in Afghanistan? But if you want to reinstate community-based militia, train them from people in that community, put them in the communities they were born and raised in, next to their teacher, next to their babysitter, I guarantee you will get completely and totally different results. So, hope that answers your question. Let me get back up here. I know we got some super chats that we missed. Colin, I got yours, okay. Nini, what's going on? Thank you very much. What will be the pros and cons of Anita Turner presidency? You always have the scoop. Are there red flags from her time in the Senate that we miss? The pros and cons of Nina's presidency: lack of foreign policy experience, which apparently she is trying to overcome at the moment. I don't know if y'all heard, she has a new podcast, a weekly segment called Drop the MIC, where her and the Coen brothers from Ben and Jerry's are talking about military spending and things like that. Now, from a political and strategic standpoint, that looks like she is actually preparing to do something major going forward. Because as you all know, Nina has been absolutely just fantastic on domestic issues. Her and Bernie and her and Tulsi align on almost all the issues. So she aligns with two people that a lot of people respect on domestic issues. Like, whereas Bernie is trash on election integrity, Nina and Tulsi are great on election integrity. Whereas Tulsi isn't for the wholesale expulsion of all medical debt without like some type of plan to ensure that there isn't like this massive bankruptcy. Nina is all for that. And, we'll figure it out after people are not having to pay on their ridiculous debt for the next 80 years of their lives. So, which is great. So like the domestic issues, if she has both people like Bernie and people like Tulsi advising her, I'm not worried about that at all. But on foreign policy, that was kind of always a question, because that's something that she's been evolving on. As a state senator, she was focused on domestic completely. But now as she's beginning to move on and seeing the bigger picture, foreign policy is becoming in one of something that she seems to be taking a lot more seriously, and is now trying to put herself in a position to show people, oh no, I'll figure this out too. Don't worry about it. And her and Tulsi are friends. So obviously the first black president, the first female president being a woman, but not only a black woman, but not only a black woman, but somebody who is unapologetically black. I'm talking about somebody who walks around in Jordans and a dress. Okay, we're talking about like, this is whatever you think of most black women, like when you think of your auntie that be telling her, like, the one, go wash your hands before you put your hands in the food at the barbecue with your nasty asses. I'm tired of y'all. That's Auntie Nina. Okay? But she is so intelligent, so well-spoken, so thoughtful, so open, so respectful, even to people that she's not all that fond of, to be honest with you. If she and Tulsi have very, very similar qualities, but because of their demographic background, they just kind of have two different approaches, but I love both of them. I love both of their approaches. The downside to a Nina presidency, if she gets her foreign policy right, I don't know what the hell the downside would be. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what a downside would be to a Nina Turner presidency, because there is no corporate money that will be given to her that she'll take. My only fear is how the media will treat her. But she will have a wall like we have never seen. If she ran for president, she will have a different type of love. She will have love from both the Bernie camps and the Tulsi camps and the Yang camp and the Mary Williamson camp. And she's the only one that I know that would have that type of love. So it'd be interesting to see. Thank you very much for that question, Nini. Adam B. Question. Thank you very much for the super chat, by the way. Question. Do you consider vote blue no matter who just a slightly less racist way of ignoring black issues? Yeah, of course. Listen, it's a less racist way to ignore black issues. It's a less sexist way to ignore the inequity amongst females. It is a less homophobic way to ignore the LGBTQ issue. I mean, which one do you want? There's a whole list. It's a less rapist apologist way to rapists as your nominee. Like, which one? Of course, 100%. They don't want the marginalized to speak up. They don't want us to consider those issues, and the only way that you can do that is to make it about the team rather than your own personal grievances. And by own personal grievances, I mean like being killed by white cops in the middle of the street. Like, stop being so selfish. Worry about everybody's issues. Except for y'all don't give a shit about everybody else's issues either. Don't get me started on that damn vote blue no matter who, Adam. I appreciate it though. Natalie. Thank you for keeping it real. I appreciate you, Nat. I try. Tien Chong or Tien Kong. Thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Since Tulsi dropped out, I must admit this election is not excitable anymore. She made the primaries. She made this primary interesting, and your coverage was amazing. Oh, I appreciate that. I ain't gonna lie, man. It has been kind of boring. I mean, other than the existential fear of our country being burned to the ground, and all we have to defend it right now seemingly is a racist and an alleged rapist, a segregationist and an alleged rapist, and Howie Hawkins, who basically has the IQ of a rock. So we're kind of screwed. But I mean, other than that, it has been pretty boring. I used to get excited for those moments of her defending Julian Assange and calling out the CIA, her defending Bernie Sanders when nobody else who claimed to be his allies would. Her speaking up and like she just was such an example for women out there who've been told to wait their turn. That I hate when they call it. They always try to use I'm a nasty woman. Shut the hell up. Y'all might be nasty, but not in the way you think. Tulsi is really what they're referring to when they say nasty woman. Nina is what they're referring to when they say nasty woman. Dr. Dooley, Roseanne Barr. Whoo! She's a nasty woman, not for the same reason. But Roseanne DeMauro, like, they buck the system at every turn. Even when the white men who consider them to be, their allies tell them, wait your turn. They're like, skr. Nah, I'm good. I got the solutions. I got solutions that are better, that'll work now. And I wouldn't tell you to wait. And what's your reason for telling me to wait? Well, it's my turn. No, that's not gonna work. So like I said, I miss. What I don't miss is the heart attacks she used to give me, but to a small degree, I miss those too. She represented a certain type of hope, a certain type of hope that I'm not sure we will have again until she runs. It's like that hope that election integrity will finally get squared away. A hope that climate change will be handled in a way that is commonsensical and not based off of who can make the most money off of what's going on. The Fairness in Media Act, abolishing private prisons, demilitarizing the police, decriminalizing all drugs. I mean, the type of hope that Tulsi represented will never be appreciated until it's too late. You know what I'm saying? If we don't get our act together. And it's ridiculous and it's scary that I have to say that, but just that's what American history has shown us. Appreciate that question. LEJJ, still no Jim Crow Joe. Black Lives Matter. 100% every day. No Jim Crow Joe. It's funny because it's like two nicknames in one, Jim and Joe. Could you say that like, I wonder what it would sound like if you say it without the, no James Crow Joseph. It's not as impactful. I don't think so. MTH core? I'm messing that up. Or is it M the core? I need you to pick a better name. I appreciate the super chat. You gotta make something that's a little bit easier to pronounce. Oh, that's Moo Juice. What's going on, Moo? I'm dating a Latina too. How do you deal with all the bruises and flesh from Man, Mook, did you don't come on here to flex? Tell us about your imaginary girlfriend, Mook. It's alright though. I'm gonna let you live. But I actually, whenever my wife gets out of line, I go to her mom. And I go to her mom before she can go to my mom. Because of course she tries to make it, like I'm out of line. She tried to make it like it's my fault. So I just go to her mom first. Y'all should have seen the time. This is before we even got married. There was one time we went to her parents' house. I don't remember what for. Oh, I think it's for the hurricane, actually. When we had a hurricane. What hurricane was that? One of them, the one that was named after an old lady. What hurricane was that? Ursula? Margaret? Guinevere? Irma. What, go Gertrude? I couldn't remember. Irma. There you go. So we went to her parents' house, and I was up at like 6 in the morning, like always, working. And I'm just like going in, doing my thing, you know, being a good little political nerd. So her mom gets up and walks past me like 10 times and, you know, says what she says. And then my wife gets up and she's like walking around. I don't know what the hell she was doing. Probably taking care of the kittens, honestly. And her mom, I hear her like going at her in the other room, just coming at my wife. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And she walks in. My mom just got mad at me because I didn't cook you any breakfast when I woke up. I was like, oh, damn, babe, for real? Oh, man, that's crazy. You shouldn't have to do that. I mean, but if you want to, I'll take some eggs, scramble hard, with cheese, and tapatio. I appreciate it. Do you know, just because we're in your mom's house, and we do have to respect her wishes. Okay? So, I wanted to be respectful to my mother-in-law. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the least I could do if I'm going to be staying in her house. So that's how I handle it, man. I just go tell her mom. If you get in good with the parents, Mook, then you all good, bro. It's all good. Bro, literally nothing is my fault when it comes to her mom. Nothing. It's always Susie's fault. I love it. I don't know why guys hate their mother-in-laws. My mother-in-law is amazing. See, you gotta know, man. You gotta know the secrets, the tricks of the trade. Get it. The moment you decide, oh man, I love this woman. Call her mom. Get in good with the mom, and you good. Unless you don't speak English, then you might be in a little trouble. But appreciate you, Mook. What we got next? Jukari Davis. Thank you very much for Super Chat. What do you think of the Dem stunt where Kamala Harris, Pelosi, Schumer, Neal draped in kente cloth? Excuse me? What do you mean? Is this real? Or are you like trolling me right now? Are they is he serious? Hold up. Is he dead ass? Y'all don't play with me. Did this really happen? I really can't tell if he's joking. I want to answer the question. Oh my God. If that's real, I really do not know what to. Oh my God. If that, oh Jesus. You for real? You for real? Because that's like, if they really, that's like them like on Christmas Day saying like Happy Kwanzaa to people on Christmas Day. Like, what do I think about that? Oh man. Oh man. Oh sweet baby Jesus. Oh sweet baby Jesus. Okay, so let me just say this. I don't know if y'all know this. Racism and colorism is not limited to Americans, right? And there are a lot of Afro-Europeans, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-South and Central Americans that actually unfortunately don't have really any connection to Africa, and we can go into that. That's a whole different thing. Like, they don't have any cultural connection to Africa as much as they would like to, because sometimes, or oftentimes for a long time, we were rejected by Africa. So like symbols that mean one thing somewhere may not mean that to everybody else. You don't gotta pretend to love this idea of cultural Africa to just be against police brutality and racism all over the world. You get what I'm saying? Because basically what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, and I understand, like, just don't fucking put any flag over you, first of all. But what you're saying is basically, we're putting this kente cloth over us. You know, we're putting this cultural representation of what you know to be as Africa and African strength over us, because we're separating you from the American people. Not just your struggles, but everything. Because if you only put it on when we're struggling, you're not putting it on when we celebrating, then you just bullshitting. You're pandering. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't. Oh, Jesus. Y'all, I'm so tired of white politicians. I don't know what else to say. I know that sounds really racist, and I'm not trying to say, but like they're getting on my fucking nerves. I get half politicians telling me that we don't need reparations. And I'm like, why? Because I have a better plan. Oh, hell nah. Y'all had no problem giving reparations to Cubans. Y'all damn sure had no problem with that. They got reparations and automatic citizenship. That's crazy, right? Because black people literally fought in World War II to come back to not get shit. Cubans get mad because Fidel Castro done put his foot in their white ass and desegregated Cuba. They come over here. Hey guys. Hey, so Batista got overthrown and all of our businesses got burned down in the revolution. So can we please come over here and get automatic citizenship and get business loans that black people can't get? And also, can you make sure none of the black Cubans come over here, please? We appreciate it. Thank you. Gloria, you told me you DM'd the tweet. Oh, Jesus. Let me see this. I'm scared, y'all. Oh my God, it's real. Oh.
Wait. Come back. Where'd you go? Okay. Bye.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I had to go pet my cat for therapy. Oh my God. Oh, this is real. That's real. Gloria just sent me the tweet. It's a real thing. Wow. Sorry, I just had to tweet about this because this is, oh, Jesus. Oh. Why y'all so embarrassing? Jesus Christ. Why y'all do this? Boy, just pass a policy. We ain't asked you to put on no goddamn kente claw. I ain't asked you to get Allen Iverson braids. I just said, pass a fucking policy. That's all I asked.
They want to see it.
I'm going to get my wife to pull it up. No, you'll get it. She about to pull it up right now for y'all. Give me 1 second, y'all. My wife about to pull it up. Let me see if I can answer another question in the meantime. Oh, jeez. Y'all, I'm so distraught. Oh, the kente. Oh, man. And it's funny as hell because they still treat all the black people in the Democratic Party like Kunta Kinte. That's fine. Maximize it though. Yeah, y'all. So this is, go ahead. This is real life. This is real life. In case you're curious.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You're looking at live pictures there of Democrats on Capitol Hill taking a knee. We believe it's going to last for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. That is the duration of the time Officer Derek Chauvin had his knee on the neck of George Floyd in Minneapolis. You see there both Senator Chuck Schumer, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and other members of Congress taking a knee. We're going to keep an eye on that for you as well as that news conference gets underway. They're expected to introduce new sweeping legislation for police reforms in this country.
Yo. What? Yo. Y'all. All we asked for was to not be killed for being black. That's it. That's all we asked for. All we ask for is equity. But your ass, I don't ever want to take a knee again. And I know Colin Kaepernick's ass, like, I know Colin Kaepernick gets pissed. He's like, I ain't tell you to take no damn. Were y'all taking a knee whenever Colin Kaepernick was getting excluded from the NFL to show solidarity? Or did y'all ignore it because all y'all rich little owner friends got businesses that are putting money in y'all pocket through lobbying? Right? Probably. Okay. They talking about introducing some sweeping police reform. Question real quick, everybody. Where the hell was that sweeping police reform when you had the House, the Senate, and the executive branch, and the Supreme Court? Was it the same place as single payer health care? Did y'all leave it out there? Is that what that sweeping reform was? So you're going to try to introduce sweeping reform in the House when you know the motherfucker in charge will not sign it, and neither would Joe Biden. If that sweeping reform is not getting rid of all private prisons and decriminalizing all drugs, I don't want to hear about sweeping reform. If you didn't introduce it while a Democrat was in power, then don't pretend like you want to do it when a Republican is going to veto it. You don't fucking sit here and play my damn intelligence and take the goddamn coat to Storefall. God, oh man, I'm so mad about that. Ah, Jesus. I need to sip my orange juice. Damn it! Why you gonna ask me that question, man? That shit. That question that got me hot. Man, that's crazy. Dap the vegan, what's going on, man? Good point, Nico. I get to see the right wing saying that there will be lawlessness if there are no police. People will police themselves and neighbors. Yeah, like I said, we have already seen it. It's already worked. Even with black people still in the country, I know what people say. Just because we have laws doesn't mean everybody's going to follow them. Yeah, you will if your neighbor puts a damn gun in your face after he's been trained with it and tells you don't steal from my neighbor. Don't steal from my cousin. Don't steal from my best friend's house. Don't steal from my best friend's mama's house. Don't steal from that school that my kids have to go to. Don't bring it to that store, that small business that my friend owns. People don't follow laws because of laws. They follow laws because of how they want to be perceived by everybody else in society as being good. Virgil Fitzgerald, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Nico, would you try to get in contact with Jimmy Dore and talk to him about Bill Gates and his involvement in developing a vaccine and suppressing treatment of COVID? I don't think Jimmy knows. I could try to talk to him. I'll send some videos his way. You know, Jimmy's busy, man. So if Jimmy don't know, it's probably because he is so knee deep in everything going on in Congress right now, which is why he keeps having Dilla Radigan on and Chris Hedges and a few other people that are experts in that department, because we are getting screwed and nobody really has access to those guys except for Jimmy. So I actually appreciate his involvement in that particular issue, although I do agree it is important to talk about how the government has been manipulating people regarding COVID and this vaccinations process. I mean, we just had the hydrochloroquine fiasco where they got exposed, right? And they had to completely get rid of a study that said hydrochloroquine was not a legitimate drug for treatment after 4 days of research. A study that was funded by Bill Gates himself. So I do believe it's important that we at least talk about that. You know, everybody should be talking about that at least a little bit, considering that a lot of our problems now are being attached directly or indirectly to COVID. So Wallace West, thank you very much for the super chat. BLM, please, is a distraction and gives people a sense of accomplishment. It's a psyop. Just like the military teaching Iraqi kids the Macarena. Thoughts? So at the national level, the organization BLM can be problematic, to say the least, at the national level. However, I know local chapters and local organizers, and it's just like how I feel about Code Pink. I feel like Code Pink can also be problematic. However, at the local level, the local organizers, they do a damn good job. They organize and they fight for legitimate causes. and they're not making their stances, their public stances, based off of whatever presidential candidate they're trying to garner donations from and for. I feel the same way about Working Families Party. I knew some great people while I was working in Working Families Party at the field organizing level. However, that does not necessarily mean those sentiments are represented by the larger Working Families Party. So all these topics do have nuance. Sunrise Movement, same thing. Sunrise Movement here in Miami hosted Nick Branya, for example. If I recall, that's when I actually met up with Nick down here. So, you know, the national incorporated nonprofit 501c3 or 501c4, whatever they want to call it, should not be confused or conflated with the legitimate efforts from people who happen to use that banner on the ground, because they need a infrastructure to work within in order to be taken seriously, to be heard, to be invited to speak at events, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we just have to hold those people, the locals, accountable, even if the national nonprofit organization itself is not behaving the way they should. Because that way, if you're holding the local organization accountable, then they themselves will hold the national level accountable. Just look at the Green Party. Because at that point, I could just say the Green Party is a psyop, which it might be, but that's a different discussion for a different day. Chatty Boom, thank you very much for the super chat. What do you say to people who have huge support of Obama because gay marriage was made legal? Oh, that's actually a really good question. I actually get this question pretty often offline. Obama didn't have shit to do with gay marriage legalization. Okay, I need y'all to be clear about it. Everybody else understand this. He was anti-gay marriage. He was forced to become pro-marriage equality for the same reason that Joe Biden was forced to become pro-non-segregation. He didn't have a fucking choice. So it's this is what I always tell people whenever I'm like, they're like, oh, we got to vote our way out of our problems. No. Whether it's 2012, where marriage equality finally became legal, whether it's interracial marriage forever ago, whether it's the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, maybe including the 13th, whether it's even black people voting in the primary, which we talked about briefly yesterday or the day before yesterday. I don't know if I knew black people could not vote in the Democratic primary until a single individual fought all the way to the Supreme Court. All these issues were carried out, and politicians were forced to capitulate to the people because they feared for their positions, they feared for their physical well-being, they feared for their property, they feared the organizing and the protests that were going on the ground. That type of organizing, those type of protests, even make bad politicians vote the right way. Get what I'm saying? So Obama was a bad politician. Obama was not good on that issue. Obama had to capitulate to protect his image. The same reason Joe Biden did that bullshit political stunt where he like ministered a gay couple's marriage. It was like the dumbest thing I ever saw. Just because of how anti-LGBTQ he used to be, because they were trying to sell it. And that's the Democrats' whole shtick, right? Pretending like you are for marginalized people without actually being for them whenever it mattered most. When that case was in the Supreme Court, Obama actually should have made it clear from the beginning, this is how I expect them to vote. I mean, politics is politics. And everybody succumbs to political pressure of some kind. The Supreme Court, you got to play politics your whole career just to get to that point. I know that we should not be allowing I know we shouldn't like the executive branch putting pressure on the Supreme Court, but if there was if there was ever a time where it was okay, whenever it's promoting equity for all, that is a time where it's okay to exert political pressure from the outside, because that's being a check, right? A check and balance. And that at that point, you are supposed to act as a balance or a check as the executive authority. Speak on it. Use your microphone, support it. But you didn't support it until the Supreme Court and that couple fought their asses off to get to where they were at today. And the reason why is because Obama comes from that generation of socially conservative black people, and those are the ones who got him in office, that aren't necessarily as supportive of equitable marriage rights. So he played and pandered and then pretended like he was for him. Good question, though. Appreciate it. Thank you. Rocket 6923. Can you explain why climate change affects people of color more than non-people of color? Oh man, that's hard. Whoo. So the environmental issues that come with climate change generally affect people of color first. I won't say more, but it'll affect us first. And currently it does affect us more, but that's only because we're being affected first. Eventually, the problems that come from climate change will affect everybody. It's just like, you know, the problem that affect black people. We are like screaming and like raising the alarm, like, "Hey, y'all, we're going through this." And generally, that's like a sign that everybody's about to feel the fire, right? When Jews were screaming their asses off about how crazy Hitler was, and we're like, "Hey, it's cool. We'll take care of it after the Olympics." Is that cool? After he hosts the Olympics and then stops our entire Jewish team from participating. Anybody Jewish on, I don't know if I know that. Anybody who is Jewish at that Olympics that was hosted in Germany did not get to participate. That's the only reason Jesse Owens was allowed to run. And that's the only reason Jesse Owens became the figure that we know him to be today. So like, we were cool. But they were like, "Hey, I'm pretty sure he's not planning on stopping here. Just based off of what we're experiencing. Hey guys, everybody pay attention." And nobody wants to listen to the marginalized. So then it becomes a problem for everybody. We're seeing something very similar with climate change. People are all for nuclear power without accounting for nuclear waste, which affects primarily poor communities and communities of color. The Bronx is getting poisoned. Flint, obviously, as you know, has been poisoned. Fracking primarily hurts poor communities and communities of color. So all these issues, when they're put together, they affect one community first, but everybody will feel the effects eventually. The waste, environmental waste, is basically what destroys and harms communities of color. The waste from the lead pipe, right? That's what is causing all the problems in Flint. But I mean, if we're being honest, it's capitalism killing everybody. Especially because it is not free market capitalism. If it was free market capitalism, then there are enough, or there would be enough competitors. If the government didn't get involved, right? We would have enough competitors that if you try to do some bullshit that would harm the environment, another company would come in, do it more efficiently, probably for less money, blow you out the market, and you would never exist. But that's not what takes place. It's not free market capitalism. We actually live in, like I said the other day, we live in the caricature of communism that the right swears they don't want to fall victim to, as we live in a country where you can't collect your own rainwater. Think about that. Patrick Steele, thank you very much for the super chat. Why does Tulsi Secure American Elections Act include the CIA in the process? What group would be best to replace them in the bill? If I recall, it isn't the CIA specifically. She says the intelligence community. And so like there's a whole intelligence community, which I don't like any of them. But you have to remember when Tulsi introduced this legislation, it was going to be while she, hopefully, that's what she planned on, I'm sure, while she was the president, which means that she would be in charge of said intelligence communities. And she would handle them, if you catch my drift. So what group would be best? I think there should be an exclusive group that hasn't been created yet, specifically dedicated to monitoring elections. We should have international players involved in that group. And especially because of how corrupt our elections are, one, and in how involved we are in everyone else's business and how our elections affect the outcome of every other country. So I think that we should have a group that is not invented yet. But at that point, there's not really any overarching group like that we can trust to monitor any of our elections at this juncture. That's already a governmental entity, right? We don't trust anybody. So I get why you have a problem with the intelligence community being involved at all. But at the same time, if she was the one who had picked the director, if she was the one who had picked the deputy director, if she was the one who had picked the director of the FBI, if she was the one who picked the director of the National Intelligence, the director of the Office of National Intelligence, like it would be a lot different. But that's not the case. But we also don't have an entity that we can trust. So, but the organization that I would pick isn't invented yet. Nini B, thank you very much for the super chat. if both run in 2024, are you back in Tulsi or Nina? Oh, why would you do that to me, Nene? For $2? You gonna do that to me for $2? Oh, Nene, you doing me dirty. I plead the fifth. No, you know what? I wouldn't have to endorse any of them. Why would I? I'm like, man, both of them are amazing. I'm just gonna speak at whoever invites me to speak at their events. I'm going. If both of them want to come on my show, they want to come on at the same time. I'm bringing on both of them. They'll be like, who you voting for? I don't know if it's gonna count on my ballot, but I'm planning on voting for both of them. I don't have to make a choice. And that's amazing to even think about. I wouldn't have to make a choice. Basically, I could trust them probably because they're women. I mean, that's probably a lot of it. They would put their egos to the side, and by the time we actually got to the point of having to make a choice, they would figure out amongst themselves how to proceed going forward to make sure that the best outcome for the entire country and for the left and progressives and populists everywhere could be achieved. And so that's messed up that you would try to put me in a position like that, Nene. That's real disrespectful. I don't appreciate that. All right. But I'm going to forgive you. Marcus Will, thank you very much for the super chat. Keep up the good work, Niko. What would you do if Bernie ran again in 2024? I tell him, do not do that shit. That's what I would do. I would say, stop. This is getting embarrassing. You're entering into Hillary Clinton's territory of taking L's at this point. I think that he actually crushed a lot of his credibility in this election. When you because I told people back then, I said, bro, if he's throwing Tulsi under the bus, if he's throwing Zephyr Teachout under the bus, if he's throwing these people under the bus when it's not even called for, what do you think he's going to do to y'all when the time comes? When it's time to make a choice between the Democratic Party and his supporters, who do you think he's going to choose? He's already shown you. If he would throw the woman who sacrificed her career to do the right thing for him, he don't even know y'all's names. You think he care about you? He'll throw you under the bus in a heartbeat. He did it. So I think a lot of his credibility and a lot of that leverage that he had built up by being this super altruistic person who's going to sacrifice and make the hard decisions when the time comes it's been thrown out the window. So I would tell him sit his ass down or use his backing to push a legitimate candidate who's going to fight when it's the most difficult. Because that's not him. I would love to see him in a cabinet position where he doesn't have to make tough decisions. Right? Where he doesn't have to be the unilateral authority on any issue, but he can be a good guide and be a good moral compass on what should be done, because as long as he's not the one having to make that decision, he's good when it comes to stuff like that. But no, hell no. It's time to sit it down, hang up the towel, or throw in the towel. This ain't your part of the show anymore. You've had your show, let somebody else have a stage. And you know what I would say to him? If he announced again, I'd be like, not me, us, huh? Really? Not me, us? Not me, but us. Are you sure about that? It's just the third time you said this shit. A lot of me's, not a whole lot of us is going on, Burn. What's going on here? Just keeping it real. So. Dab the vegan. My wife is Latina. Also, her mom loves me more. See, you playing your cards right. That's what I'm talking about. I set out to be a good example for the supporters out there. I saw the comment where Gloria apologized in advance for the tweet before sending it. She was like, I'm guessing she knew I was gonna react. Taj Marie, thank you very much for the super chat. While we're on the subject, do you think Black Lives Matter will ever hold Obama responsible for signing the Blue Lives Matter? Okay, so remember, Ty, I said the national level BLM is, I do not conflate with the local organizing. The national level BLM, they didn't hold Barack Obama accountable for militarizing the police in Ferguson and Baltimore, and like they didn't hold him accountable for anything. So no, I don't think that. And they should be held accountable for that. But if I'm not being too audacious to say, they need to be held accountable by the black community for that. I don't want to hear it coming from white people. No offense, but half the time y'all like. I mean, we have way too many people that can scream Soros's name from the top of their fucking lungs every time something they don't like. Like they see massive organizing and they're like, it gotta be Soros. Listen, y'all. A lot of black people are organizing around the country. And the reason that it seems like it's out of nowhere to many of you, this isn't like the Women's March. When people were like, oh, Soros could organize it, I'm like, actually, I can see a logical chain there. Because if you look at the organizations sponsoring those protests, if you look at the response by police officers to those protests, if you look at who was speaking at these protests, the Debbie Wasserman Schultz of the world, the Donna Brazils of the world, et cetera, who's not getting invited to speak at these protests, the Tulsi Gabbers of the world, the Nina Turners of the world. Those are the ones who are not. So I would see the logical chain. And like, why y'all would be like, how the hell did y'all organize millions of people with like 3 or 4? That I would understand. But what y'all don't understand is when black people are doing amazing shit, you will never hear about it. And that's why you don't know. You don't know that black people are contacting their local radio stations, letting the radio stations know or tell people where the protests are going to be at, how they're staying on the move so the cops can't keep up. They don't, by the time the cops get there, there's already 150, 200 people out there. You don't know of the greatness of black people. What we have been forced to do in desperate times throughout history in this country. But y'all don't say, oh, it was the Koch brothers who organized that Proud Boys. Y'all ever heard of Proud Boys before like 2-3 years ago? Anybody? Y'all heard of Proud Boys? And I want to say this too. You ever heard of Antifa before 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Whenever Trump got elected? Isn't it crazy that like every time Antifa comes out, it's able to be used at Trump's advantage? That's the only time they come out, generally speaking. And every time the Proud Boys comes out, it's always used to Trump's advantage somehow. And Antifa is always there. But I don't remember Antifa being out there in Ferguson, the national organization or the national group. Like I said, local groups, whole different thing. But I'm talking about, remember how they tore all of DC up when Trump got elected? Why weren't y'all out there tearing shit up whenever Ferguson happened? Or in Baltimore happened? Y'all know there was a major court case that was involving police brutality in Dallas where the Black Panthers showed up. It was a couple of years ago. Or excuse me, it was right before. It was in 2016, but it wasn't after President Trump got elected. It was before. It was in Dallas. And it was a major deal to the point where even the damn Black Panthers showed up. Antifa was nowhere to be found, people. Did y'all don't? I know black people have been kind of like, that black people, if y'all don't know, from our white leftist allies, we've always been skeptical of Antifa, the national organization, the national group. Always. You have never seen like super prominent black figures constantly cheering on Antifa. 1. 2, you damn sure never seen them cheering on Antifa before the election of 2016. So there are some great local organizers who call themselves Antifa because they believe in the brand, once again. But I always be skeptical of people who just come out of nowhere. Because you have to understand, like Ferguson, I remember where my head was at, where my heart was at, how I felt emotionally with what was going on. And I remember who was involved. That's why for me, I've never been able to forgive Obama for that. Right? I was at Standing Rock. Ain't no goddamn Antifa show up. As cops were shooting people's eyes out, shooting people's arms out, spraying them with water so they would die from freezing to death. Antifa was not there. But every time a camera shows up, all of a sudden, Antifa there. And I'm not saying that it's a psyop by the left. That's the thing. Proud Boy shows up at the same time. Antifa shows up at the same time. QAnonymous shows up. And all three of those have mostly benefited Donald Trump and the Republican narrative. Have y'all not noticed that? Because of Antifa, now the whole right gets to qualify everybody on the left as being violent. Because of people dressed up like they're Antifa, people are conflating breaking into, these local businesses with actual protesters who are fighting for their actual cause. Hernan Montoya, you said a last American vagabond said, I mean, he's probably right. If anybody wants to know how my thought process goes when it comes to a lot of these organizations, or actually in politics in general, generally speaking, this is how I go about my politics. Where the hell you been at? And whatever your answer to that question is how I judge your intentions going forward. Is that fair? Is that a fair, you know what I'm saying? Like Chuck Rocha, for example. Where the hell you been at? See, I know that he was working somewhat with Bernie Sanders' campaign, but he was working in 2016, but the capacity was not good. He was a consultant charging way too much goddamn money. And if you look at where he was at before that, it was screwing over unions. But where was you at when we were screaming from the top of our lungs about election integrity issues? Because I know where the hell Nina was at. Nina actually listened and called out the integrity issues. Why do you think she's not with the Bidens and anybody else in the Democratic Party right now? I know where Tulsi was at. You know where Tulsi was at in 2016? She was on the phone with me, listening to election integrity issues, and then she introduced the Security American Elections Act. But Jeff Weaver, where the hell was you at? Oh, that's right. You were sitting down with Robbie Mook and squaring a deal away between your campaign and Bernie's campaign. See that? I didn't know where your ass was at when everything went down, regardless of whatever we're talking about. I don't like activists who just get a platform out of activists on Twitter, on Facebook, who just get a platform out of nowhere. I have no idea where you came from. Where'd you come from? Y'all never asked that? Where Nomiki Kans, for example. Did y'all ever, where the hell Nomiki was at? Well, how did she just end up on the Unity Commission? Oh, well, she worked for TYT. Okay, where was she at before that? Do you know? Do you? No. But y'all don't listen to her about how we should move forward, like she know what the hell she's talking about. She should never be on the, no disrespect to her, but she should never be on the Unity Commission to begin with. She has zero political experience. She has shown no command of politics. No legitimate command of politics. Y'all ever asked where Candace Owens was at? Candace Owens was an Obama supporter. That's where she was at. That's what you got to figure. That's what you got to ask people. Where you been at? Where was you at before this? Kai, you get all this attention out of nowhere. Nat, Nina, Tulsi 2024, make it a trend. I'm all about that. You know how I feel about that. That's an unstoppable ticket. Douche Canoe, what police reforms would you like to see at the federal level? OS 13th Amendment and federal prison system was in discussion. For one, I believe we should be banning private prisons, decriminalize all drugs. I actually talked about this earlier. We have to go to community-based policing, similar to when we had the militia that the Second Amendment we're referring to. That's what that's actually referring to, community policing. Wallace West, Black Lives Matter Plaza. Bruh, when I saw that plaza, I was like, we don't want kente cloth. We don't want you kneeling. We don't want a fucking plaza. Just want policies, bro. Just want policies. I just want policies. I just want a world where Macklemore doesn't beat out Drake and Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z and J. Cole for the fucking Grammys. Where he himself then had to turn around and admit, I ain't really deserve this award, y'all. I want a world where Beyonce doesn't set all these damn records and then somehow Taylor Swift loses to her. That's all I'm asking for, y'all. I want systemic change. I don't want a fucking kente cloth. I'm kneeling on the ground. I don't want that shit. I don't want a plaza. I want to not die for being black. That's it. That's all I want. Oh, Jesus. Palinowski, thank you very much for the super chat. Hi, Nico. Join your channel. Also on Rockfin. The right always blames protests on Antifa. You are absolutely right. 100%. And it works every time. But nobody ever asks, once again, they're like, oh, Soros funds the Antifa. Okay, who funds the Proud Boys then? Who organized them? Just out of curiosity. I'm not even sure Soros actually profits or benefits. The way Soros makes a lot of his money is by the, I don't know how to explain it. Like, because of all the organizations that Soros has his fingers into and their detachment from things like Antifa, because they have to be more concerned with organizing and sheep herding, and Antifa that actually doesn't help with that effort as much as you would think. You can't raise money from Antifa. However, you can raise money from MoveOn.org, which Soros is attached to. You can raise money by pretending to be pro-Palestine. Like, you have to sheep herd effectively. And most Democrats, because of their whole, that fake, they put on the fake version, the fake facade-like version of the MLK caricature that they always say, we have to be peaceful all the time, no matter what. Peaceful, 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 peaceful. We're always got to be about peace. We can't ever be violent. That never works like that. So Antifa doesn't mesh with that idea. And so because of that, it doesn't really work for Soros' agenda all that much. It does work for the Koch brothers' agenda, though. If you're a conservative who's trying to make it seem like the out of control president, because Trump he's in control, but he's out of control at the same time. He's unpredictable in a lot of ways. That doesn't work for the powers that be. So what do? You always have Antifa and Proud Boys going at each other's throat. Antifa and white supremacists organizing out of nowhere, going at each other's throat. And you blame Donald Trump. Trump gets to, some Republicans jump on that train, the Republicans that you like. Remember, Mitt Romney has been getting a lot of love lately, huh? A lot of those establishment dinos, or rhinos, I should say, they've been getting a lot of love. Just saying. It's just weird how Antifa and all these right-wing groups always just happen to be in the same place at the same time. And like leftists like myself don't find out about it. And I'm pretty, plugged into the organizing, or, leftist organizing. Like, we don't hear about the shit until the Antifa shows up. And then like the leftists, sometimes they're trying to defend them. And I'm like, I'm not defending shit. I don't know them like that. Patrick Steele. I'm going to take a couple of more, then we're going to head up out of here. I appreciate everybody. Patrick Steele. Is Tim Canova's paper ballot plan better than secure and more secure than open source blockchain? No, you need both. You need both. You need both open source and paper ballots. Paper ballots for accuracy, open source for accountability. But Tim Canova's, he's more than willing. He's actually explored open source in conjunction with his paper ballot plans. So, fucking missing one. I know there's one at the bottom. So I got Paul, Patrick, and Ellie J. No, I don't think so. What did it say?
What do you think of native activist Mark Charles and the candidate for president?
I got that already. Oh, actually, no. Somebody else asked me that same question. So if the person asked me about Mark Charles, I already explained that earlier in the video. Basically, I like his platform, but it's a little bit late. I mean, for 2024, I would like to hear more what he has to say, but I feel like it's like a little bit too late to run for president and have a legitimate chance to win, even to get the 5%. So, LEJJ, thank you very much. FBI, CIA, cops can infiltrate or imitate anyone. 100%. You're 100% correct. Nizar G, where is that at? I'm not seeing that one. Oh, got it. Found out. Oh man, it's 2 of them I missed. Okay. I was just going to listen today, but Jesus effing Christ, this is disgusting. When do you think Chuck Schumer will put on a kufi to pretend like he supports Netanyahu corruption? Man, Chuck Schumer is, when it comes to Israel and Palestine, he ain't gonna pretend like he's objective. So come on, let's be honest. Let's be honest, y'all. It's Chuck. It's Chuck. Well, Chuck Schumer basically is a Netanyahu of the Democratic Party. He's an authoritarian dickhead. Hold on. Question mark Garden. What do you think of the name? Okay, yeah, I already answered that one. Okay. And then Wallace West. Give me a second. Let me get the yours. What does it say? I already see that one. Already got that one. Nini, thank you again. What are your thoughts on progressive organizing the 1A video cop audits throughout the country? You should organize those black 2A looter patrols. Actually, I wouldn't mind. I don't have a concealed and carry, but I'm about to go get one though. I am about to go get one because no offense, white people, but y'all getting crazy. Y'all getting out of hand. Y'all killing people for walking through construction sites and shit. Like, y'all wilding. Y'all wilding out. But that's okay. I'm getting my concealed and carry just because I got to travel with it in my vehicle. But don't worry, it'll be on the hip. I'm all about preventative measures. I want to hide it from you. I want you to see what you about to run up on. I don't give a shit if you racist, but you better be racist in somebody else's direction, because you pull it, I guarantee you, I'm quick draw McGaw with this, dog. I was an eagle eye when I was in the military. Pew, pew, pew. All right? Don't play with me. But look. But in all seriousness, the 1A video cop audits, I'm all about that. I just did a show regarding that because I didn't even know that was a thing. And I did a show about Tucson actually trying to prevent that, those people from organizing and holding cops accountable. Bethlehem, thank you very much for super chat. What are your thoughts? When are you and the missus coming to LA? Got to take you a little Ethiopia. Probably soon after this quarantine is over, because California wilding right now. Okay, I don't want to be no parts of that. Y'all is on some shit. Okay, y'all got quarantine. Y'all taking people's hotels, turning them into hospitals that nobody even asked for. Okay, y'all not even putting the homeless people in there. I don't know what they say. Oh, we're gonna put homeless people in there to protect them. Then the quarantine, they ain't putting no homeless people in the shit. You're not paying the hotels enough for them to give up their business for it. Like, y'all not hitting any of y'all numbers, but yet y'all still quarantining the shit out of people. And y'all got the National Guard out there. My black brother about in tears because he don't want to be there. Like, police is wilding. They arrested my fam. Look, yo, we'll be out there, but not right now, Bethlehem. We're going to let y'all get y'all shit together first, and then we're going to go visit fam. Okay? Douche canoe? Where's that at? I already saw that one. No, I'm pretty sure I got all of them. I got that one. I think I got all the super chats. Yep. I think I got all the super chats. All right. I think we about almost up 2 hours now, so we good, man. So I appreciate you all stopping by. I will try to do these more often. Cause I really like taking questions from y'all. I know sometimes that like if we're not talking about the subject, you don't want to do a super chat or ask a question about it. So understood. But I will try to do these more often because I've been getting requests for these. And I don't like doing, I know some people do like the Reddit AMAs, but I can type really fast. But like, bro, you ever do an AMA for 2 hours? Your hands cramp the fuck up. Okay? It's really hard. All right? So I like doing video AMAs better. So we'll probably alternate between here and Rockfin for the Ask Me Anythings. But for everybody who participated, I greatly appreciate it. If I can answer your question this time, hopefully the next time we get it. Other than that, make sure y'all subscribe if you have not yet. Make sure you share the video. Make sure you like it. Consider becoming a patron subscriber on Patreon, or consider endorsing us on Rockfin, rokfin.com/Niko. Like I said, we do take cryptocurrency donations too. As you see, we have the Ethereum and the Bitcoin address in the description as well. All right. That being said, always remember, more than anything else, people, find your balance. Peace. If you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa, don't forget to like the video and smash that subscribe button. Want access to members only live streams, behind the scenes footage, and other premium content? Well, you can endorse us on Rockfin Premium, become a patron through Patreon, or you can sign up for the MCSC Premium membership through YouTube. All the links are in the description below. But hey, more than anything else, always remember,
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Always remember, more than anything else, find your balance.